baby, Romaloni City, Location Oti, in a Maserati, yeah, you baby easy, my more like you easy, you want kiss somebody, but you see man, oh, you're not my you.
That's right.
Ready,
Are you ready now? 1, 2, 3, let go say. We just wanna have fun. We just wanna have fun. We just wanna have fun.
I just want to be I just want to be what's in my God,
Space.
Me, I just want to be what's in my God,
What's going on? Keep that song, just keep that song. What's going on today? Are you excited to be here?
Oh yes.
That one is not my own energy. Are you excited to be here?
Yeah.
Are you excited to be here? I need more power right now. Alright. So quickly we're gonna do something easy. So whatever I do, you do. If you know the unavailable thing, you don't have to do it. Oh yeah, come. So let's do it together. Are you ready now? Are you ready? You're gonna sing it. Let's go. Come on.
Them know they see me. I'm unavailable. Them know they see me. I'm unavailable. Them know they see me. I'm unavailable. Say I'm sorry for who won't be my words. I'm only who. Make nobody para. Say I carry woman. Say now my way I'm carry. I'm only who. I be get some announcing. I be man don't say. I'm unavailable. Them know they see me. I'm unavailable. Them know they see me. I'm unavailable. Them know they see me.
Can you feel it? Yeah. If you love Morayo, make some noise. On the energy today, what's going on? Say, shoulders, knees and toes, 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 shoulders, knees and toes. Can you feel it? Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor I'm in the mood today. Tell your neighbor I'm in the mood today. If you know before the end of this week, you will have over 1 million naira in your account to make some noise. You don't believe? If you know that in your account by the end of this week, you will have over 1 million naira, make some noise. Oh yeah now, say, oh yeah now, say, look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, say, let's go, say, I'm in the mood to move my body, I'm in the mood to shake my body, I'm in the mood to move my body, I'm in the mood to shake my body, I'm in the mood to move my body, I'm in the mood to shake my body, make the mood, make the mood, say, get to the mood, say, if you love Morayo, make some noise. Morayo, joy is coming. Morayo,
joy is coming.
Morayo,
joy is coming.
Morayo,
joy is coming.
One time. Are you ready? I got Morayo at the back right now. I don't like your energy. I have Morayo at the back right now, and I don't like this energy. If you love Morayo, make some noise. There's one song that we always sing in church. Say, I've got joy. Oh yeah,
joy. Oh
yeah, no.
Joy.
Oh yeah,
joy.
Make some noise. See what? Ladies and gentlemen, I got the amazing, the beautiful, the queen of Talk TV, Morayo Afolabi-Brown. Make some noise. Let's go. Are you ready? Say what?
I found joy.
What you say? Aha! You are not screaming though. It's Morayo you're about to see right now. Make some noise.
I found joy.
coming. Oh my goodness, we have a full house and an overflow. So, do we have any first timers in the house? Please stand up for recognition. We have to celebrate.
Welcome to Morayo Show.
Yes, sir.
We are the people we make it.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure having you. Please have your seats. Thank you very much. I've not seen Kelly Anson. He was here yesterday. I was looking for him. Making notice that we don't chase and come out because of his gaff, but it's okay. How you doing? Angel, good to see you. Mr. Sex Therapist. How is every other person? I've not seen Mama J today. She didn't come today. Oh, you're in that corner. I'm Mr. Daniel. Well done. Good to see you. Where is my pom-pom lady? I didn't get. She didn't come. Hey! Good to see you guys. So fabulous to have you. Guys, we're still trying to hit our 100,000 subscribers by the end of this season. Please tell your friends, share the joy, spread the love, spread the beauty of the show. Tell your loved ones to like and subscribe. It's not just about watching the show. They have to subscribe. It's really important. And I see our Muslim sisters. It is not easy, but don't worry. I think this is the final 10 days, Abi. And this is where you're going to be very, very holy. So please let me call on Badurawa. Yeah, right. So we have to thank Sweet Sensation again for always giving us something to eat in the morning. Thank you so much. And thanks to Grace Needles for my lovely outfit. Yesterday, a lady was here, Vicky Chops. I don't know if she came today. She brought us popcorn. You came yesterday. Please, thank you for, please. That popcorn, my kids love it. You put coconut and something. I'm like, I said, now popcorn, we call it. The kids loved it. Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. To go for the crew. Don't worry, one of these days we'll bring for the audience. But thank you very much. It was really, really good to have you. And then I also want to thank our guest yesterday, Olori, who was here yesterday. That came concerning the traveling right. She flew from Abuja for this show, and she went back yesterday. I mean, for me, I was really tripped. Please let me give her a nice clap to thank her for that sacrifice. The other day, somebody came in all the way from one other state. They flew in Akwa Ibom and came for the show and went back. And I'm thinking, why is God so mindful of us? To bring people from all over to come to this show, that says a lot. So, shout out to Dabs. How you doing, Dabs?
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. I like it when you're happy, you know. You're trying to force energy. Say, I don't look stressing Dabs this morning.
Yes,
they are good.
They refuse to dance.
They must dance. This our show is a show of joy. You must dance. Even myself, I don't learn steps. You know, I'm standing learning.
Steps they cry.
Damola wore suits today. Kilo, what happened? What were you thinking?
Courtesy of my wife.
Hey! But you look nice, dapper, looking very dapper this morning. Well done. Please give it up for the joy band. So, today on our comments, you know, usually we have me coming over there. But we have some really interesting a couple today that I think is really important. And because yesterday's show was quite touching, some of you that were here, we talked about finding love again. You know, single motherhood is never easy for anybody. And on today's section, comment section, we're going to be diving into this very important topic, divorce. And it's something that many of us go through. We're going to be very interactive because I realize that the issue of divorce and remarriage has been something we talk about, but we just keep it. Everybody who goes through it just keeps quiet. They want to be by themselves. We're going to be bringing in a couple to help us understand this conversation properly. Because there's this couple, they've gone through fire of divorce, rebuilt themselves, and then found each other. He, I don't know if I'll guess here, but he's a decorated project management professional and church leader who had to step down after his divorce, and he spent over a decade navigating life on his own. The woman, on the other hand, is his wife. She's a medical doctor turned entrepreneur, founder of Rock Realty, and today Booker. She came out of a toxic marriage and raised her children by herself and had to find a way again before, getting her life back together. So the reason why these couple are important is because we notice that there are lots of single women out there who are trying to get on their feet or find love again. Some of them are in this audience. Some of them are also hoping. Some are not interested in love again. And we can understand because you need to heal before you even think of love. But those who believe they've healed and they are ready, sometimes they feel stuck that the love is not coming. And that's why we're going to be welcoming our guest who is here, Pastor Yomi Thomas and Dr. Ibukun Adebayo Thomas.
See what the Lord has done. See what the Lord has done. What we waited for has come to pass. Abba, see what the Lord. Oh yeah, see what the Lord has done. See what the Lord has done. See what the Lord has done. What we waited for has come to pass. Are you ready? See what the Lord has done. See what the Lord has done in my life. Abba is so marvelous. See what the Lord has done in my life. He's so marvelous. One time. Oh, oh,
oh. Have your seat. Thank you so much. And I'm pretty excited about today's story because this show is not just about us laughing all the time. It's about learning from people's stories also. Hopefully that should also give us some joy and satisfaction. So, welcome to our show, and I'm so happy that you both made our time to come here. Thank you for coming. Now, you both had separate divorces. You were divorced, and for 10 years, you were by yourself. You were also in a toxic marriage, and you left, and you found each other. Before we talk about you finding each other, let's go to you first, sir. In that 10 years, when you had to leave your service in church, had to be, you were ostracized pretty much. How was that journey for you? And did you think that, did you feel the guilt that I'm a Christian, I shouldn't be divorcing? Did you feel embarrassed? And how did you work your way through becoming whole again?
Can I first say congratulations to you?
Thank you.
We appreciate you, we love you. My wife was just reminding me that last year, I think at Dubai, you were talking about this.
It was an idea.
It was an idea, and look at what God has done.
Yes.
Can we just appreciate Morayo? The journey has been very interesting, but for God's grace, I know the expectation is that because I'm a pastor, I should speak from a Christian perspective, but I'm not oblivion that there are not Christians only here, there are Muslims, there are even people that do not believe God as well. So I'm going to speak from that perspective. The journey wasn't easy at all. And one of the things that I know for a fact is that there's no man or woman that come together that from day one to divorce. However, circumstances and situations that are at times beyond our control also puts us into that category that the only way out is to actually separate yourself. I found that I was losing myself. I didn't know who I was. I was making decisions that you would not relate to me. And for someone that has 2 children, I needed to protect the fatherhood that God committed into my hands through my children. And as a Christian person, as a leader in church, it was difficult. The church ostracized me. They treated me as if I was a leper.
Wow.
That they could not relate to.
Wow.
I remember...
Did you have access to your children?
Oh, I've always had access to my children. That is one thing that myself and my ex decided from day one, that even though both of us are not taking this journey together, both of us, God committed the children into our hand, and we will make sure we live that through and through.
Let me stay with you for a moment, because one of the things women find difficult is having reasonable exes that are willing to say, okay, we're not together, but at least take responsibility for your children. A lot of women struggle with men staying responsible. How did you find that? Was it an easy decision for you, or But did you feel like, thank God I'm done. Let me go and focus on my life and leave these kids for you. How did that work on your own end?
You know, the most interesting part of this journey is that when I found myself in that situation where I knew that, okay, this is not going to work, I didn't run away from God. I went back to God. I was exposed. I was saying to my wife just before we came down that truth would disarm you, but it would not embarrass you. Bible said that when Adam and Eve were in the garden, they were naked, but they were not ashamed. So I went to God as a naked man. And I said, God, please clothe me back. And God began to give me specific instructions that made it possible, even though I was hurting, my ex-wife was hurting, but together, because I believe of some of the things that I did. So, for example, one of the things that I did was that I called my ex-wife and I apologized to her.
Okay.
And I said to her that if this marriage had been successful, the man would take the credit. But the fact that this marriage failed, I take full responsibility. And I exonerate you from anything that has happened. I went to meet her mom and her dad, and I prostrated before them for disappointing them.
Wow.
That I know that when you gave me your daughter forever. But unfortunately, I was not able to fulfill that promise. So I said, please forgive me, and I still want to be considered as a son. Now, when I believe my ex saw some of these steps and moved, it was easy for her to say, okay, we may not be together, but at least he's still a responsible man and a responsible father. So she allowed that process to be easy between the two of us.
Now, that is gem. Thank you so much for sharing. Let me come to your wife, Dr. Bukun. You were in a toxic marriage, and I'd like you to also share with us the period when you were hurting. Did you ever think you would find love again, or was it a desire, or it just happened on you?
Okay, so when a woman divorces, she has a sense of loss, a very heavy sense of loss. And for me, it was very big. I thought I lost too much. And then I went into a phase. And that phase was, after mourning a little bit, I remembered that what happened was that I lost myself. It wasn't so much just a marriage, but the loss of me, Ibuku. And the first thing I did was to find me. And my first voyage was not to look for love again. Because the me that took the first option, if I present that same day, so many times women remarry the same man in different skins.
Aha.
And if you do not work on yourself, you'd marry the same man and marry everything that you did not want again. So it was important for me to, first of all, go into a season of finding me. And me was, who was I before the marriage? What did I lose in the marriage? In those years, what should I have learned? And putting all of that together, there needed to be a new me. And I'd say that not just as a philosophy. That was actually the journey. So the focus was first finding who I was again. And that for me then took me to an extreme, which was I then became the strong woman who felt that independence was equal to aloneness, and that was good enough. So I went into that phase of just saying, I'm strong, I can do this, everything is coming together, and I do not want anybody to just disturb my peace.
Right.
But later, I found that what really you are afraid of is not a second marriage, it's actually losing yourself again. So if you look at it deeply, when you hear women say, I don't want to get married again, it's that they do not want a repeat of them losing themselves.
So, Dr. Bukun, because of time, I want to move a bit faster because, you see, there's something that parents tell us. If you leave your husband, no, but who will marry you? Look at all these children. You have how many kids do you have with your father?
I have 3 children.
3 kids. With 3, where are you going to carry 3 children to? That's what our parents will tell you. You better go and manage and stay. Just stay there. 3 kids. So in your situation, you met a man who has 2 kids.
Yes.
3 kids. How did you even think, okay, this is possible?
Okay. So first off, the biggest lie is to think that there's no one who would marry you with children. Whoever loves you with everything.
Oh.
So, however, this is where you must now be very careful. In choosing, you must then, one of your first criteria must be, will this man actually understand that I'm now one unit and that one unit represents me and my children? And can he be a not just responsible father, but a responsible model to them? So in my choosing again, one of my first criteria was that will this man love my children, love on them, and also be the model in two ways. One, the man that I want them to look up to, my daughter that's looking up to a father, and then the boys looking up to him. And then our marriage, can it then be something they look up to and say, this can actually be beautiful? So in choosing, that's so important, and that's one of the reasons I chose him.
So I'm going to come to you guys, because I'm sure we have questions here. So you were willing to release your ex-wife, the family, and you did it properly. In your situation, do you think if your ex had probably released properly, maybe disengaged properly, maybe your healing might be better? Or what, for a man looking at you, listening to you, and wants to divorce, what's the best way to disengage such that there's healing on both ends?
Honestly, I think PYT did it very right. If I had that version, I would have completely felt a lot better, because the sense of abandonment is not just on the woman. The children also suffer a sense of abandonment. And so when the children understand that their parents cannot be together, but none of them has abandoned us, abandoned in the sense of they're not available, it's easier on the children. So definitely would have been easier on me. The more times that I cried were not for me, were for my children living in a situation where there was no present father.
Did you get that? Because it was important for her to say that. Because a lot of men are listening and they abandon. I'm done with you. I don't want to see you, your kids. But forgetting that it's not the woman you abandon, you also abandon the kids. And it's so important that she mentioned that. Let's talk about you, your spiritual life with your husband. Did that play a role in finding the kind of man? Was it for you? You had to be a Christian, because I'm assuming the former one too was a Christian. So you're thinking, okay, was religion a really important factor for you, or you were not really interested in that? You just want a man who was responsible and willing to love you and your children.
So I was able to define three things: one, my deal breakers, my must-haves, and my nice-to-haves.
Okay.
Being a Christian or not was a deal breaker for me.
Okay.
It was a deal breaker for me because I feel that my own values are deeply entrenched in Christian values. And one of the major things, so it was a deal breaker, but it was also, it was not standing alone. It was not just being a Christian, but having similar foundational values. Because when you don't have the same values, you don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
He's speaking and you're speaking, but you're not hearing one another, each other. So he had to be a Christian. Two key things for me: he had to be a Christian, and we had to have the same values so that we can speak the same language.
Okay, interesting. When you met your wife and she says, I have 3 kids or 3 children, what ran through your mind? Or did you also have family support? Since no matter, or did you have, was there rebellion from your end? Like, lie, what is that? What was it like when you met your wife?
I think the first thing that I thought about was, oh my God, I'm going to do this all over again, because my children are old. They're 21 and going 22 and 18. So I thought that I'd finished that phase and it's now to settle. But you see, I love children.
It does school runs now.
I love children. I'm very involved in my children's life. So doing it all over again was not an issue. And then an opportunity to just show love to, another, set of children. It really wasn't a phase at all.
Now, this is a bit personal. Blending families. Have you ever, because when I read stories of blended families like this, your kids coming around, their kids coming, they're not sure, okay, am I brother, are you cousin, are you sister, how do we call each other, how do we, because we're in Nigeria, we don't understand these things yet. It's very foreign. So what's the dynamics like in your home? Like, are they brothers, are they stepsisters, are they brothers, what they call themselves, and how do you guys make it such that there's no issue?
Okay, so we made it easy for our children. We've allowed them to just flow. We've put them together and let them find their equilibrium. We got married. They have come into a blended home, but we've allowed them to just be fluid. And what we found is that on their own, they're just finding their mingling easy. So the fact that we do not put pressure on them to say, this is now your sister and your brother and all of that, we've just allowed them to relate and just let it flow.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I have a different view. I mean, everything she said is absolutely correct, but I think I want to speak to the men, especially that are here and are watching, that may find themselves in that situation. One of the things that I had to do to make that process easy for our children was that I recognized the role that they played even before I came into their lives. Because there's something that my wife always said, that for her firstborn became her boyfriend. You know, because of emotional support. So when I came in and I understood the roles that they played, I began to make sure that their voice is loud in our relationship. There were steps that I did not take without speaking to her first son and for approval. Like when I was going to propose to her, I let the first son know that I was going to propose. You know, when I bought the ring, the engagement ring, I gave it to the first son. When I wrote my speech, I gave it to her first son. You know, so I took the children, I carried them along. And I believe that because they accepted me, it was easy for them to accept my children. So it's very important that when you come into that situation, you just don't come in and take over, that I'm the man, I'm in charge. These children were there supporting. They saw the mom crying, the sleepless night. So you just can't come in and then override everything and take control. So that was what made it easier for me.
Love it. So I'm going to pass the mic around. We'll just take a few questions because I know some of you might have questions on this matter. While you're figuring out your question, I'm coming to you, Dr. Ibukum. You're a career woman. You have businesses. How was it for you meeting a man? Because a lot of women feel like if you are divorced, they'll just stay home, just quiet, do your career small. You know, you don't want to make too much noise. But you're a high flyer. How were you able to, even with all that confidence, still was ready for marriage? Because people expect you to just be quiet and stay in the background. How was it for you?
To be honest, I would say that PYT has played a big part in my... Would I say I was completely in the mindset of marriage when we met? No. But there's a way you meet someone and he made marriage, again, have a completely different meaning to me. He broke it down. He came into my life and said something very profound, Morayo. He says, I'm not here to disrupt you. I will only enhance you. You know, so on your trajectory, you will keep going and I will only enhance your destiny.
Wow.
He consistently said so many things that made
just
me know
pause,
that.
pause. Hey, Joe, you will not see a husband like you, please. Because there are lots of women that are looking for a man like that. Please, where did you find him? Was he in church or where? Where did you find him? Please.
I found him on the streets of Instagram.
Imagine. Instagram.
He says if your page is private. On private it, oh.
Are you serious? Yes. Okay, you're on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram, yes.
Wow. What are the odds? That is so cool. I mean, because you got a good man and you got a good woman. I mean, what? You see? I mean, the reason why I wanted to know was because when kids are involved, you know, and you're trying to raise kids, now let me come to the issue of discipline, because that's another issue blended couples have. How do you discipline? How do I discipline? Oh, don't shout at my children. That's not how I raise them. Don't talk to them anyhow. You know, how do you handle discipline? Especially when they were once exposed to their father and how it's done, and your own kids are supposed to how them. So how do you handle discipline in the home?
Okay, so I remember the very first conversation that we had. My wife said something to me. She said, everything in every area, you have a voice. So, but when my children are concerned, please let me have the last voice with them. And I said, that is fine. Again, until the children accept you as a father figure, you can shout, you can scream, they will always throw back what you're doing and what you're saying. It is not what you say that is important, but how it is received. Now, if I discipline any of our children, and they look at me and said, how dare you speak to me like that? Do you think you are my father? Then I've lost them. So how I package what I issue or usher to them is very, very important. And you've got to win their hearts and you've got to win their mind. So until I'm able to confidently say, then that is fine. So I will give you a perfect example. Our daughter was so excited that she ran to the room and told her mom that I don't want to call, she calls me Uncle Yomi, I don't want to call Uncle Yomi anymore. I want to call him my daddy. Okay. I was super excited, and immediately I brought myself back down to earth. And I said, please tell her that she should go and discuss it with her brothers. If her brothers give her the go-ahead, then she should come back and start calling me Uncle Yomi. To start calling me Daddy. And the reason I did that is that I want them to understand that, look, every journey, every step, we're taking it together. I'm not going to run ahead of you. If you decide to call me Uncle Yomi for the rest of your life, I'm happy with it. If you decide to call me Daddy,
Nigerian.
I'm happy with it. I am Nigerian.
Are you sure? Are you born in this country?
I'm from Edo State.
Because we are hearing this for the first time. We only watch it in Hollywood movies. But we are seeing it, and I'm thrilled. Because a lot of men need to see that this kind of men exist. Because we always pretend, now which African man can never... And it's a lie. They exist. Yeah. So the truth is that you can actually have a family, a blended, successful family, when both of you are rational and reasonable enough to have it, to make it work. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Let me take 2 questions. Anybody? Okay, where's the microphone? Let me come to the lady. I've not heard from you before, right behind Mama J. Where's the remote control? And there's a woman at the back. Let me be sure. My usual suspects. Pass the mic to the lady behind Mama J. Yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Amma, and I'll be sending a question to Pastor Yomi. You took a 10-year stretch to build yourself and get back a divorce. But in Nigeria, we find out that immediately men get a divorce, the next month, they are taking another. What's your message to men who quickly just move on to the next? And to Dr. Ibukun, there are lots of women who are not privileged to be in your position, and financially, they might have been abused in their marriage, and they are rebuilding again. What's the process and what's the message to that woman?
Okay. I always say this, that everyone's journey is different. I'm not going to stand or sit here and say that unless you do it my way, it's not going to work for you. I'm not going to say that, because we all have individual thumbprints. So what may work for me may not work for others. Let me quickly say this. I've met men even before I got divorced, and when I'm speaking to them, they will say to me that, they've been separated or divorced for 10 years, and I always thought something is wrong with them. Until I also went through that journey, and I could not believe that, to be honest, I think it took me almost 14 years to get here, not 10 years. When in the medical field, when something dies, one of the first things that they do is postmortem, to try and determine the cause of death so that they can learn and find out how they can prevent this or prolong life. That was what I had to do. What was the cause of what happened that my marriage failed? And it was a difficult period. It was a difficult period. People might be easy for them, but it wasn't easy for me. And until I learned, one of the things that God revealed to me is that there's first Yomi the man, there's Yomi the pastor, there's Yomi the husband, there's Yomi the father. What underpins Yomi the father, Yomi the pastor, Yomi the husband is Yomi the man. And if Yomi the man is not right, everything else that you try to put on it will crumble. So God had to rework in me. That means that there were certain things that I did not do in my first marriage, or things that I did in my first marriage that I shouldn't have done, that this time around I've become an intentional lover with my wife. So for men out there, I would just say that, look, there's no way you can rush into it. Just take your time and let God work in you, both to will, to do of his good pleasure.
Thank you. Your own question.
Okay, good question. It wasn't, so you started by saying that some people may not have what I have, but it wasn't easy. Let me tell you, in the first time I was going to take my children to school after the whole divorce and separation thing, I couldn't pay school fees. And they sent my children back in the rain. And I cried so bad. But I'm grateful for that day because that was my morning. And I told myself, I'm going to wake up. And when you wake up, it's morning. So I'll say to the woman, it's time to stop mourning. It's time to get up. It's time to sit up. Understand that if people have journey 1, you have journeys 1 and 2 together. And you can do it. Believe in yourself and take one step after the other.
Let me take just one question and I'm done. Okay, let me come to you. Sorry. A gentleman wanted to go. Go ahead, man. And I'll come to you, sir, if I can.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christy. Sir, please, I want to ask a question based on our Christian belief. We have been told that divorce is not right. And most churches, the moment they discover one is divorced, such a person will not be allowed to take any position in the church. Sir, what do you say to pastors out there concerning the divorcees? Because most of this divorce is not really their fault, but they find themselves in that situation, just like you found yourself.
Fantastic.
What do you tell our pastors out there?
Okay. All right.
Our general overseers. Thank you, sir.
I'll let you answer that. Let me take the gentleman's question once and for all too. Please pass the microphone to him, and then so that we can wrap up. Your own question, yes.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Orutorojo. Thank you very much. I am actually inspired. I have a lot of questions, but I will try to limit them. I believe marriage is the smallest unit of the society. And I believe when there is a divorce, there is a way it affects the society on a long run. So my question is, how has it been being a single mother, raising your children, and now having a father figure in the home? How has that affected the situation in the home, your children, in terms of how they process information, process life, and life generally? Then second question is, how are you feeling now? So you have 3 cases. When you were in your former marriage, when you were single mother, and now as a wife and a mother. Then the third question is, as a woman and a man who has experienced divorce, and you were bittered, because divorce will not come as a result of when you were enjoying it. So you were bittered. So you took that decision as this is a must. And as a pastor, I know it was a difficult decision to take. Now, after that bitterness, were you considering you were going to enter another bitterness? I love what you said, Mrs. Dr. Ibuku, that the problem is you being afraid of losing yourself again. So, but in this case, were you afraid that you will go into another marriage that will make you lose yourself again? Even after you were convinced that, oh, this man is a good man, right, I can go.
Thank you very much. We're running out of time. Let me start with the general overseer, the whole pastor one. I'll come to you to answer the second one. Yes.
Okay. I know that this is a very touchy subject, ma'am. And I don't want to say that any general overseer, any ministry have gotten it right or wrong. How I dealt with it is this. Number one, the Bible said, work out your personal salvation with fear and trembling. It was a personal thing. When I went to God, during my postmortem, God told me, married or divorced will not make you enter heaven. So what is important whilst you're living on earth is to make sure you do things that will make you enter heaven. When I had those 2 truths in the way God revealed it to me, it was very, very easy. The Bible says that the word of God has been made of no effect because of our tradition. Tradition has killed a lot of things. So to the man, to the woman out there that general overseers or churches have made you feel somehow, God loves you. And God is not going to treat you in any separate ways than he has sent his only begotten son to you.
Thank you. The other question was a bit difficult for me to follow, but I think they just want to know how you are today. Are you really happy? I think in a nutshell, is this joy? Because you've been divorced, you've went through a time of hurt. Today, are you truly happy?
So I'll answer that question by saying something I said to him yesterday. Yesterday, he saw me looking at him very intently, and he said, "What?" And I said, "I just wanted to tell you that I was happy as a single man. I found happiness." But I said to him, I was happy, but I found with you a certain happiness that I have never experienced. I said this to him yesterday. So it's a different so I now believe that happiness has different definitions and can be in different boxes. So as a single woman, I was happy. But I met him, and there's a different type of happiness that I have never experienced before.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know you've inspired thousands of people who are watching the show. Thank you very much for coming to the show. We appreciate you. We're going to go to a shop. We're going to come back and bring our special guest there with us. We'll be right back. Whoa!
Yes, sir, come on!
You have done so much for me, and I cannot tell it. If I had 10,000 tongues, still wouldn't be enough. Shukuna kwamabele, when you heal completely. Shukuna rabimo, you shake and delay. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much. What shall I render? For he has done so very much. You know the song. Say nara nara. Come on. Nara 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 nara. Nara 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 nara. Once again, Shukuma Wamamale. When you heal completely. Shukuma Rumemo. You shake and delay. Come on, say, what shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much. What shall I render? For he has done. Everybody. Say, nara, 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 kele, kele.
Our next guest, she's a powerhouse. Human resources and enterprise. She's a lawyer, a bold HR strategist, and founder of a consulting firm that has connected thousands of Nigerians, over 20,000, to meaningful work and real opportunity. Beyond business, she's a thought leader and mentor who's passionate about empowering young professionals and sparking conversations around leadership, growth, and purpose. Please join me as I welcome the brilliant and inspiring Dr. Omon, Odike!
You're always on time. You can do no wrong, oh, babe. I've got to live the night. Everybody say, remember you did it. You're always on time. You can do yeah. I love the spot. Listen, you said what he says he will do. I can't wait. Yeah.
Omon on Fresh. This is an HR specialist you can never catch on Fresh.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Good to have you on the show.
Wow, this is so surreal for me. You won't believe how we thought about this thing like last year.
Yes.
Morayo was still wondering, is this the right path to go?
Yes.
In fact, she was so scared.
I was scared.
And I kept on telling her, don't worry, we'll be with you. We'll
Omon is very
you.
supportive. I mean, she's a good friend. Please let me give her. She is somebody that she listens. I had lunch with her and I told her my dreams. Morayo, you can do it. Just believe in yourself. And you've been so supportive. Thank you so much, Omon. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
So, before we even go into your work, last year I was at your 50th birthday party in Abu Dhabi. Girl, these pictures, the videos, I had such a blast. You know what I loved about the birthday was that you had real friends come together to celebrate you, and you wanted to make it a mark. Tell us about that experience on your 50th birthday last year. Tell us about the experience of your 50th birthday last year.
My 50th birthday, God. I mean, I have dreamt about my 50th birthday for the past 3 years. So everybody who knows me knows that I was very intentional on how it would be. I thought of having this like a fairy tale thing where it would be like I'm coming out of a book.
Yes.
And it was really magical. Everything I wished for, I got it. But more importantly, God blessed me with life. Beautiful family, beautiful children, beautiful husband, and more importantly, all my wonderful, lovely, lovely friends. They were there to support me. And she was there.
Yes, I was there. I was like, you have such good friends. I mean, I know, let's go into you growing up and all that, because people see you, you went to Dubai for your birthday party, you look so wealthy and, you know, accomplished. Were you born into wealth?
No.
Or did you dream this and say, I'm going to build myself, I'm going to do? What did you do to get to this point? Because this woman get money. Were you born into that money?
I wasn't born into wealth, but I wasn't born into poverty either. I'm a middle-class child.
Yes.
My parents were both lecturers, but my father was a professor, my mom was a doctor. Surprisingly, they are both late now. My mom died quite early at 50 too.
Wow.
So, but one thing that they instilled in us was this life of discipline. I mean, I'm sure you know how professors and doctors' children are. Discipline, you must be, focused with academics more than anything else. And that's why I read law. So I know, but there's something about my father. My father actually always encouraged us to be like entrepreneurs. Even if he was not an entrepreneur, he liked this thing about business. So even as I was in school, he would actually buy things from when he traveled out, and I would be selling them in school. So entrepreneurship has always been in my blood. I didn't even know. I would go to the market. I mean, students will be going to, know how difficult law is, but I would go to the market and actually buy clothes, and then it was bend down. You buy clothes, you buy all this second hand and everything, and I would sell, make money. The things my father would bring, I would sell, make money. I just found myself doing that all through till I even graduated. So I think that entrepreneurship spirit had always been in me, and I just birthed it with time.
Let's talk about how you got into marriage, how you met your husband. How does a fine husband, just as she is, both of them are so beautiful, and they have beautiful children. Meeting your husband, how was it? He was in university, and how did you know he was the one for you?
Oh, I met my husband in school. It's a very long story, so I can't even say it here, but I met him in school. But before then, I always had this mindset to get married on time. So among my peers, I was one of the few people who got married at least at 25.
Wow.
So I didn't wait too long. So immediately after school, I was even in law school when I did my traditional, my white wedding. But I met my husband. Coincidentally, he was my friend's senior brother. But long and short was, I wasn't even looking at him to be my husband. I would say destiny and chance put us together. I was looking outside. In those days when you're in school, you'll be looking at people already made, because if they're already made, means that they are ready for marriage. Not just in that simple this thing that they are working so they can keep a home, they can pay for things and all that. Not knowing that God's destiny was somebody in school. So at a point when we met, I said to God, but I prayed heavily for a husband. I prayed. I was very intentional. I said, God, give me a husband before I leave this school. And coincidentally, my husband was praying the same prayer.
Give me a wife.
On his own, that give me a wife before I graduate from this school. So in my year 3, I met him. He was already in his final year.
Wow.
And And we just clicked, and everything happened. And I was like, okay, God, are you sure this is my husband? I told you, give me my husband. Yeah, giving me a school, in quote, school boyfriend. I said, so I was like, okay. And before we know it, I said, I just had peace with the decision. And even to the fact that he was a school boyfriend, I was so happy. I was so content. I was so sure. He did nothing, but I knew he was very smart. He had a bright future. I mean, he had all the things you want in a husband, being a Christian, being from a very good foundation, being from a very good home, you know, that they respect people. And of course, my marriage has been completely blessed in all every area you can imagine.
Omon, somebody will see Omon and they'll believe you've never had problems in your life.
Oh my God.
That everything has been perfect because she looks beautiful, she looks put together. She looks like God has just been favoring her from day one.
No.
But they will not know you had miscarriages, you've had issues in your life. Could you share with Nigerians the real life issues that has really birthed the Omon they see today?
On the personal side, I think the first major problem, major loss I had was losing my mom at a very young age, at 50. Then I had to be strong for the entire family. I had to be the lead of everybody. We are just 4, but I became like the firstborn. You know, first girl, Ada, you know, all the responsibilities fell on my shoulder. My father was taking me as his wife at some point. Then after a while, my father also passed. Then I had to be a mother and a father to my other siblings. And aside from that, after going through all that, that's hardened me. That made me very responsible. That made me, you know, step up so quickly. Then before I knew it, entered business, and I started, I was working. I'm a lawyer also, so I was practicing. Then I had issues with keeping a home. You know, I got married on time, having children, at the same time going to work, and I'm a very strong and very serious worker. I don't play with anything I touch. So it's not like others that would just give an excuse and stay on one side. I wanted to do it well and be known to do it well. And of course, that takes a lot on your body, on everything. And of course, with time, I had 4 miscarriages. And battling that, everything, you know, it was really traumatic. I had to resign. And not resign because I wanted to resign. I resigned because my life was now at risk. And I needed to rest. I needed to do a lot of other things to just take care of myself and take care of my home. So I did that for a short while. But as restless as my soul is, God didn't put me in this earth to just sit down at home. He didn't put me to stay, you know, I went to school so that I can study and become somebody. And I think that same passion was still in me. And I said, what would I do? And I started one of the small businesses that we already had in the company. I started working on it. And I said, okay, with this, I will balance myself, take care of the children. I'll be doing the work at my own pace. But that was the biggest, if I lie. Entrepreneurship is very hard. Yeah. If I took more time than I did when I was even working for somebody. And of course, the entrepreneurship journey has been, you know, very, very interesting. Well, one thing I did when I started work was I at a point, because I always wanted to be a judge when I was in practice. I remember I've just pivoted into HR and running a business. At a point, the first 6 months, I started crying. I said, God, have I taken the right decision? This doesn't look so right. I feel that I'm going to lose something, not becoming a judge or going through my legal practice. Yes. And I just had this peace after praying for like 3 days. Like, don't worry, you're in the right path. So I started. And before you knew it, God started blessing me. And what he kept on doing, he kept transforming me and making me see that there was so much value in this work. Yeah. And up to date, this is my 22nd year. Wow. We have empowered over 20,000 youths with jobs. We have given over 20,000 youths jobs in Nigeria.
Let me come to that, because a lot of young people are also watching. They're thinking, okay, how has this human resource work? You've transformed a lot of young people, giving them better lives. How has your company successfully done that? And how do you recruit people to help to give them jobs? What's the process like?
Okay, for recruitment, I mean, that's one of our core services. Apart from the other 5 services that we have, because there are 6 in all. It's, I think, you know, one thing I would say is the grace of God has a lot to play in this, my business. Remember I said I was a lawyer and that was my trajectory, but God said, no, this is not what I have for you, my daughter. I have something that you will use to bless yourself and bless others around you. So he made things quite easy. Even in my first 2 years, I already had made so much money that I was able to buy even my first property in Lagos, which is our permanent office. You know, so and which is almost impossible. You know, I told you I prayed, but he gave me that calm and said, "I am with you, and for that reason, I will bless you." So, having to do all those recruitment, I started learning. A lot of learning, a lot of, remember my core background is legal, and I went into a space of recruitment. Yeah. So this is HR, it's not the same thing. So I had to do self-development, a lot of self-development. And during my time, remember, we're talking about 20-something years ago, it's not like what we have on Instagram. Everybody's a teacher. Everybody's teaching you what to do, mentorship, sponsorship. We didn't have the luxury of that. We just had, I don't even think we even had Google. We had something else that was at that time, and we just read, had books, just to learn. But one thing I did intentionally was I used a lot of common sense. I used my legal background, as well as, of course, learning about the job. And I just kept on going.
What do you think is one of the problems we have with young people today in getting jobs, especially our educated youths, the ones that are graduates? As a HR expert, what's one challenge you've seen with hiring Nigerians?
When I first started 20 years ago plus, it wasn't as difficult as now because Nigerians were not, I think technology has disrupted a lot of things too. So it's not really so much of their fault to an extent. Yeah. But in those days, you get a job, decent living, they will take it on. But now, the young youths are not interested in any of the jobs that we have to offer. Because most of the jobs that are even out there are not, they don't pay so well, especially for entry level. And that's the truth. I remember the economy and the devaluation of Naira with the inflation rate, they can't really pay for so much. So you find a lot of jobs, like right now as I sit here, we will always have at least 1,000 opening, almost on every day basis. But we can't fill those roles because we don't have the people to fill those roles. So sometimes also they don't, so aside from the fact that a lot of the youths are not, they don't want to take those jobs because of the pay for those jobs. We also have youths that are not even, they don't have the skill level to take up the jobs. Because a lot of the jobs now require some certain skills, maybe IT skill, any other skill that are required by the client. And of course, age limits too. So we also have age as an issue. Some of them have aged out. So you don't even have an opportunity to take on the job, especially for like banks. If you're working for the bank, mostly the age grades are very, very low. So most of them have graduated even higher than those age. So there are a lot of indices that really affect job opportunities.
Thank you very much for that. So let's go a bit personal. You raised amazing children who are doing well. And people always think that comfortable Nigerians don't raise proper kids. They don't raise well-rounded children because they are spoiled. But your kids are not spoiled. You sort of raise them, they're well-grounded. How was raising children for you?
Raising children for me, I think it was a no-brainer in so many ways because I think I learned a lot from my mother. My mother, I give her all the kudos today, even if she's not here. I would say I'm living vicariously through her, even if she's not, alive. There's so many things she did in terms of how to raise a family. I'm one person, I think sometimes they say, I know the new generation is, don't do too much, take care of yourself. But the truth is, I do a lot. I take care of my family. I take care of my business. I take care of my husband. I take care of my friends.
Are you sure you have time for that?
I do almost everything at the same time.
Are you sure?
But I balance it.
You balance it.
Sometimes you don't get to do everything at all at the same time. But one thing I know is I focus on my children a lot.
Wow.
My children and I were extremely close.
Yeah.
So there's a good relationship with every single child. And as I said, my mom bet this thing of love. In my family, if my kids walk in today, you see us kissing, hugging.
Yes.
So we're not those kind of distant, family. We're kissing, we're hugging. So I learned that from my mom and I pass it on to my children. So there's no way those children would come out of this world and not give love in return. I received love, I gave it to my children. My children will also give that love back to me.
So my final question is, people see you and they just see somebody who is probably all perfect. I wanted to show that you are just as imperfect as many people, but you are intentional about who we see,
Yeah.
your outlook, your dressing, your skin, what you do. Tell us a bit about that, because there are a lot of young people that they just see her, they just you look like this really beautiful glass lady that they can't touch, but you intentionally built that image,
Yes.
and it was done.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as if you were born with it. So tell us a bit about how you were able to come with your identity, who you are today.
Okay. I will tell you, everyone on this here today, life is not easy at any level. I have gone through hell, even sitting down here, and I'm sure the viewers who know what I'm talking about know what I'm going through even right now. But I've said it to myself, and I think it's something I learned even while I was in university, that I would never look like my problem. I had that intentional. So I spoke to myself very early on. So it's not even what they say now, the motivational speeches that people are giving now. So for some reason, I already had that idea that I would never look like my problem. So even those days in school, whenever I go through problems, I will shake it off. And after, you go through the cycle. They said there's 5 levels of grief.
Yeah.
I go through the 5 levels of grief, and I come out stronger. So I always do that. So even, as I said, if I tell you what I'm going through here right now, you won't even believe it. So I've always had that intentional thing of being present in the moment. So being present in the moment is not all about just talking. It's about your appearance, looking good, speaking well, packaging yourself, making sure that people don't see what you're going through. Ensure that whatever you're doing in that moment makes sense, and you're connecting. We are connecting with whoever you're connecting with.
See, the reason why I wanted her to talk about that, because some of us here, we're probably older than 50 or even 50. But you see, we can't compare. But the intentional thing is, how are you taking care of yourself? Because everybody has problems.
And it's not about money.
It's not about money.
And I wish my husband was here. He would tell you, he says, in those days, when I was being paid, I was earning 30,000. I started with 30,000. I entered 75,000. I actually left my law practice as with 75,000 naira. That was the highest that I was being paid. But with that small money, if you give away Ashoebi, my Ashoebi must stand out. So you need to understand that it's not about money. It's about making the good use of the little you have and making it look nice. And looking nice is a lot. It has to do with even your smell, the way you present yourself. There's just so many levels to it. And guess what? You know the saying that you are dressed the way, you're dressed. Yes, so it's really, really, really important that you always look good. And looking good is good business. It's always good business.
You see, if there's anything I learned from Omon, it's paying attention. Because I have always been very regular. I don't like stress. But since I met Omon, I always thought to myself, okay, at least pay attention.
Yes,
you don't have to look like her, but at least wash your face in the night. Do a basic scrub, just basic things.
And even being married for 25 years, even from the marriage side, I do things like as if I just got married. And my husband knows, yes.
Wow.
In private, you do everything as if you just got married. Why would you just age out? Why are you aging out? Because you're 50, so why?
We are still learning. We never reached that one.
So life is just about trying to do as much as you can. Nobody is perfect. You just keep on trying. But the most important thing is that you put in the effort.
Yes.
And you'll see the result.
Fantastic.
All the time.
Thank you so much, Omon. It was important to bring you here because I wanted to inspire our viewers to know that they also can become an Omon. That you're intentional about you from growing up, from raising your siblings, being a mother to them, being a guide, being intentional about when you wanted to get married, about starting your business. And even when you now got married, you now got into the HR business and you stood by it and and it has been successful. And today we see the results. So it's possible. And thank you so much for coming. Is there anything you want to tell us again? Your podcast.
Yes.
She has Omon's Couch. Are you guys seeing her podcast? Please, you must follow Omon's Couch on YouTube. Please give it up. She has an interview show, which is where she brings in very important guests, and you learn from that. So I think it's a show that you also need to be part of. And please subscribe and go to our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much. Now, I wanted to just say that for everybody, one thing I know that can make you successful, people may say it's a cliche, or people have said it over and over again. It's not true. Please put God first. I put God first in my business. And if you know what he has done for me, I cannot even say it all. And that's the truth. Just put God first. Don't say, well, because I'm poor, it won't work. It's a lie. Or because I don't know anybody, it won't work. It's a lie. Just put God first. Just dedicate, if you want to start a business, dedicate your business to God first before you even start. And simple words, just tell him, God, be with me. Is this what you want me to do? Just dedicate your business to God. Or if it's a career, dedicate that career to God. Whatever it is you want to do. Because as a faith-based person, I can't but tell you that this is what you need to do. And that's what has kept me to today. Both in marriage, business, in everything that I do. But that doesn't mean it does not come with a lot of challenges. They will come, but because he is there, you'll be able to weather the storm.
I can vouch for that because I've known a few of her stories where she prayed through. Don't be deceived by all this her lipstick and all this her wig. Trust me, the woman prays. We know when to remove the wigs and get on our knees. Yes, so trust me, prayer is important. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Omon, for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So, because it's your first time, we like to declare to our young people, just to encourage. And I know that Omon has said she's going to declare. She's already given us how much she wants to declare, and she also wants to empower 5 women. So I'm going to. So we have a basket here of people, but I'm going to export. She's giving us. Do you want to tell us how much you're declaring? Okay, I already have the figure, but it's enough that everybody can go home with 10,000 naira. And that's because I'm adding a few other ones that we had. We had other people that declared. So I'm joining everything together. So when I add everything together, it gives us enough that everybody goes home with 10,000 naira. However, I'm told we have overflow, because that when I say overflow, it means that it doesn't add overflow, because we didn't add overflow to it. But I'm told we have about 5 overflow, so we'll see what we can do to the overflow. They're not yet included, but we'll see what we can do. But for our 5 businesses, are there 5 people that have 5 businesses that need, like you really need something, like you need it? I'm going to go through. We have a wish list here. So if your name is here, don't worry, we'll read it and see the ones that we feel can go with the empowerment. She's giving us some funds for that, and we'll now let you know. So don't worry, your wishes are here. We'll read it and we'll pick 5 women or men that qualify for her empowerment, and then we'll give you. Is that okay? So we'll get back to you. But thank you so much for coming.
I've got a reason to pray. I've got a reason to pray. I won't be quiet.
So the show, let me end the show, but I want some of you to ask a few questions, because it's important you have information. So let me end the show first. So don't forget, in June, we're giving away ₦1 million for our audience. And make sure you have your alert by Wema account. If you don't, please sign up with the Morayo code, and you could be our lucky winner. Follow us on all our social media partners. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
I want to be quiet, my God is alive. Why should I create it? I want to be quiet, my God is alive. Why should I keep say I've got a reason to?
But we can cut out this clip and post it separately. But I think it's not, Omon is somebody that she's a human resource expert. And it's important that if you have questions about life, your marriage, raising